and welcome to everyone for our webinar series, Part 2 Livelihood webinar series. This is our 18th webinar this year. We have been doing this webinar with the students week after week, every Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. This week, because on 25th of this Friday was 25th January, 25th December, Christmas. So we are having this webinar today on Saturday, 10 a.m. And I'm very happy to see the number of students and very thankful to the principal and all the panelists over here for joining this call. I will introduce everyone, myself. My name is Munish Chawla. I am the co-founder for Jeevitam. Jeevitam is a livelihood platform wherein we help people find sustainable livelihood. Jeevitam is a startup, and we have around 1.5 crore work seekers on our platform whom we are trying to help find livelihood. This year, when we were starting this webinar, I was talking to the panelists. This year we will call year of transformation. Okay, wherein a lot of things, have happened, which was very unusual. And this, I call it also, this crisis has given us an opportunity to reset the way we work and live. So when we started doing, college placements, this year, we started asking 5 questions, which were very much relevant in context to the ongoing crisis, wherein we were asking that, because of this crisis, colleges are closed, corporates are not traveling, and students are all at home. Though you are all in college, but most of the students we have seen across the country are at home. So we said, why can't college placement drive take place still? Second question we asked, why college placement drive has to happen only in tier 1 and tier 2 cities? Why not in tier 2, tier 3 cities? And why not in those colleges where it has never taken place? Third, why we asked a question, why college placement drive has to take place only for MBA and BTech students? Why not for BA, BCom, BSc, ITI students? That's number 3. Number 4, we said, why college placement only has to take place for the final year students, who are graduating. Why don't we do college placement for first year, second year, and third year students also? Because there are immense opportunities available of internship, apprenticeship, freelancer, part-time. So, while you are still studying, you can start working. These are the opportunities which are available. And lastly, why college placement drive has to happen only once in a year? Why not every month after month, till every student in our country becomes Atmanirbhar? So I think that's the way, we have been planning, and we have been receiving, very good response for everyone. And that has been our force to continue week after week, every week. Just for benefit of everyone, I'll just give a brief about Jeevitam. Jeevitam is as I said, is a livelihood platform. We have around 1.5 crore work seekers, and we are right now reaching out to 1,000 plus cities, and we have every type of profile, specifically for the students which are available. In this crisis alone, we have helped around 10 lakh students and candidates with the relevant opportunities during this thing. We are doing a partnership with the government. We are partnered with Labor Ministry, National Career Services. We are partnering with the philanthropy organizations like IBM, CSR. We are working with top 100 corporates in the country. So that is what we are today. I'm very happy to have all of you students, on today come over here to attend this webinar. We will basically try to tell you what is your opportunities for you to find a sustainable livelihood. This will be our focus for this webinar. I again thank everyone. Over to you, KG.
Thanks, Munish. Thanks a lot. And before we kick off our webinar, let us play our signature tune. Over to you.
स्कूल की लाइन में लगे एक आंख बंद किए इधर उधर ताकते, इसका मतलब शायद मालूम ही नहीं था। कॉलेज की भीड़ में दोस्तों के साथ ठाके लगाते भी कामयाबी पानी तो थी, मगर हम होंगे कामयाब ये सोचने की ना जरूरत थी ना मौका। माँ की नसीहतें और पिता के सहारे के बीच हम होंगे कामयाब के मायने समझना थोड़ा मुश्किल था। हम होंगे कामयाब का असली मतलब तो तब समझ आया जब जिंदगी ने हाथ छुड़ाकर कहा, ये तुम्हारी लड़ाई है, सिर्फ तुम्हारी। लड़ो, गिरो, उठो, फिर लड़ो, फिर गिरो, फिर उठो, अगर उठ सको। लड़ने ने, गिरने ने और गिरकर उठने ने हिम्मत तो जगाई ही, साथ ही जगाया यकीन। और इस यकीन को हकीकत बनाने में आपके साथ है जीवतम।
अब परिवर्तन लाना है, लक्ष्य तो हमें पाना है, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हाँ, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
आइए मिलकर भारत को कामयाब बनाते हैं।
सरकार की सहायता रोजगार के साथ जोड़ करके नई इकाइयों के लिए सरकार अब योजना बनाएगी। देश में रोजगार के अवसर बढ़े, उस पर हम बल देना चाहते हैं।
होंगे कामयाब।
So great. I think welcome everybody again, once again, to the 18th webinar of the Jeevitam Path to Livelihood series. It's a great pleasure to be in a college which has its name after Swami Vivekananda, one of the most brilliant leaders of our time of Hindu Renaissance. And I've had the privilege of sitting in his room in Belur Mutt during his 150th birthday celebrations a few years ago. And the energy that you have in that place has to be felt and experienced. And the students today who are studying in Vivekananda College, I'm sure are experiencing the same energy because of the brilliant leaders who are taking this college to great heights. And let me introduce the panelists and the leaders today. Dr. T. Venkatesan, who is the principal of Vivekananda College, a very accomplished academician. He became the principal since 2018, but since then, before that, has held multiple critical positions in the college. He has shared a lot about Vivekananda College with us, especially the discipline and the kind of brilliant students that this college has. And after I introduce the speakers, I'll request Dr. Venkatesan to speak a little about his college, his journey, so that the entire populace of Vivekananda College and us are enlightened about the great voyage this institution is taking in our nation. If you look at his background, he has published multiple publications, has contributed to multiple books, has held workshops, attended seminars, and most importantly, if you interact with Dr. Venkatesan and Dr. Chellapandian, you will realize that their humility is just unparalleled. Simple human beings leading exceptionally brilliant lives and leading students and becoming inspirational for them to follow in their footsteps. Similarly, Dr. Chellapandian, who graduated in commerce in 2001, has an MBA to his name and also is a doctorate in commerce and specializes in multiple fields of income tax law, of GST, advanced financial accounting, human resource management. He has been a guide to a PhD student, an MPhil student, dissertation, to MBA projects, and a dissertation. He has held the following. He has held multiple positions as very much like Dr. Venkatesan at Vivekananda College, and most importantly, he's an alumnus of this college and a bright star at that. Moving on to our speakers, we have Krishnan Govindan. Krishnan Govindan has been known to me for almost 5 years now, and when he was a client for us at Airtel, a mind that is exceptionally astute, who works for customers day in and day out to make their lives easier, and has done that across multiple organizations. Asian Paints, then moving on to ICICI Bank, then moving on to Airtel, and finally at High Care. I think if you have touched these organizations, you would have touched KG because he took customer delight to new heights. And that is where I think he will bring in his expertise to students in real life terms and experience and explain to them what is the best way to handle any kind of crisis and what can be done to stabilize one's life in these kind of disruptions. Last but not the least, Shweta Kumar. I just realized she lives just a few miles from my house and knows two languages which I cherish. She's a MA in Personal Management from Tata Institute of Social Sciences and a very reputed institution in India, and has done a master's in executive coaching and change management in INSEAD. And a thorough HR professional with varied interests. She's a certified coach, and if you want to understand her through her career, you will realize the multiple roles she has played, will give us a grandstand view of the depth of knowledge on human resource management skilling that Shweta has. I think this morning's webinar is very, very unique in multiple ways. And I'll just touch a few upon them. The most important part is we are interacting with students of one of the most hallowed institutions in this nation, Vivekananda College. We are the last webinar of the calendar year 2020, and we learned that so what if COVID-19 is disrupting the world? We are going to walk into this disruption and take messages to students to inspire them to understand that this planet that has lived for 5 billion years, one COVID is not going to destroy it. We have another 5 billion years to still last. And we have come here with two exceptional panelists who will share with you the truth about what it means to be a corporate professional and how should one skill themselves to be successful in their career. And we are sitting today again in a college which is in the hallowed land of Madurai Meenakshi, the goddess who guides all of us to success. So over to you, Dr. Venkatesan. You can take over and just lead us through a few glimpses of the college that you head. And we will love to hear it from you before we start posing questions to our speakers. Over to you, Dr. Venkatesan. You will have to go off mute. You're on mute, Dr. Venkatesan.
Okay.
Now you're on. Correct.
Okay. So first of all, I submit my pronouns at the feet of our founder Swamiji, Swami Siddhananda, the most respected Secretary Swamiji of our Vivekananda College, Swami Vedananda, the most respected Kulapati Swamiji of Vivekananda College, Swami Adhyatmananda, our Parthasarathi, the Dean and Controller, Dr. K. Karthikeyan, the IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Shadish Babu, our Placement Officer, Dr. Chelapandian, the chief guest for this program, Mr. K.G. Mohan, Ms. Swed Kumar, and Mr. Krishnan Govindan, participants from various colleges, universities, faculty members, researchers. So good morning to everyone. So today, Vivekananda College, Madurai, and the Jeevitam from Bangalore are joined opportunities. So it is this webinar is hosted by Munish Chawla, the co-founder of Jeevitam, and K.G. Mohan of as Team Jeevitam. So first of all, I congratulate the, the team, Dr. Chelapandian and the team members of Jeevitam for organizing this webinar. So my hearty congratulations to them. So the expectations of this webinar, so they clearly mentioned what kind of job opportunities are available in the current scenario. So how to start preparing for a career since the first year of college, why online education is a new way of learning and how to make the most of it, how to prepare and upskill yourself for the new job market. So attending this seminar will make you to know about more about your knowledge and skill regarding your career. So you all know about our college, I think so. So our college, Vivekananda College, gives prime importance to life training for the students. So this institution is a man-making institution, it's a pure residential college since 1971. So this is the 50th year, the golden jubilee year of our college. So our institution is focusing on inculcating spiritual, ethical, moral, and social values in all disciplines of study. Our college is an autonomous institution since 1987 by UGC. So this institution is re-accredited with A grade by NAC for 3 times. So in the last cycle during 2015, we got a CGPA 3.59 out of 4. So this institution also granted with the status of college with potential for excellence in the year 2016. So based on the achievements, the UGC granted more than 10 years as an autonomous status. So it was extended up to 2028. So we also introduced outcome. So we inculcate many values to our students. So we students waking up in the early morning 4:45 till 9:30 p.m. Students is participating 3 times prayer in our college at our prayer hall. We inculcate the value of silence. The students and the faculty members should keep calm in dining hall and prayer hall. So it's our best practice of our college. So we inculcate the value of conquering the tongue. So in our dining, the preparation of food is made up of with hand-bound rice for all the students and the teaching faculty of our college. So we inculcate the value of community living. So there is no racism in our college. So we inculcate the value of quest of excellence in all field of disciplines of our college. So I think the resource persons, Mr. Krishnan Govindan, the ex-MD and the CEO of High Care Service Private Limited, and Ms. Jeevitam, Jeevita Kumar, the Chief Learning Architect from Disperse, or the resource person for this webinar. So they are going to present the topic on turning dispersion into upskilling and livelihood opportunities to our students. So I also congratulate the Munish Chawla, the co-founder of Jeevitam, and KG Mohan, the team Jeevitam, and our placement officer and the assistant professor of commerce, Dr. Chella Pandian, for arranging this webinar. I once again wish all the participants and I ask all the students, you should ask many doubts and questions related to your career opportunities. So thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
KG,
Thank you very much, Dr. Venkatesan. Over to you, Dr. Chalapandian. Few words from you before we kick off the webinar. You have
Yes,
to go out of mute.
yes. Vivekananda College Placement Cell, in association with the technology partners Jeevitam, today presentation is going on the topic of turning disturbance into upskilling and a livelihood opportunity to the student community. So in this great occasion, first of all, I welcome cordially our Secretary Swamiji Maharaj, Swami Vedananda, our Kulabadi Maharaj, Adhyatmananda Maharaj, our proud principal, dynamic principal, Dr. T. Venkatesan sir, Vice Principal, Dean and Controller of Examination, IKSC Coordinator, so heads of the departments and student friends. So very good morning to all one and all present here. So today is the auspicious day for our college. In this COVID-19 situation, so the Jeevitam technology so approach many times our concern. So in this way in which so we are fortunate here to accompany with this great institution. Today they are going to present a wonderful seminar. So what are the opportunities for the graduates in Arts and Science College for the upliftment of their career in this platform. So I'm very thankful to the panelists from the Jeevitam, particularly the Munish Jeevitam, so and KG Mohan sir, Krishna Govindan, and Sweda ma'am. So on behalf of our college and management, Yakurugula cordially invite all for this great occasion. My dear student friends, this year is going with this very critical situation. So my humble and earnest request to my participant child, please utilize this great opportunity. So you inculcate your values to get the jobs in the corporate. The jobs are available, but you have to equip yourself as a job seeker. In later, you are go for the job provider. In that way, in which we are the nation builder of the college. So wish you all the best. Thank you for this great opportunities given by the panelists. Thank you very much. Once again, I thank you once again to the Secretary Swamiji and the Kulabadi Swamiji principal also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chalapandian.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So over to you, Dr. Venkatesan. You can pose your first question of the webinar to Krishna Govindan. Dr. Venkatesan, you have to go off mute.
You proceed, sir.
Great.
So you please ask
We can
the
start.
questions,
Right.
from the participants of our college and even from the students from other colleges, universities.
Done, sir.
They may ask questions regarding the seminar.
And we will
So
answer
how
them.
to enrich their knowledge in the field of career opportunities.
Done, sir. We will do that. So over to you, KG. I think to kick off this webinar, the first question that comes up to my mind is, what are the soft skills and what are the components of soft skills that are required by any person who wants a job in a corporate environment?
Okay. உயர்வர உயர்நலம் உடையவன் எவனவன், மயர்வரும் அருளிலன் எவனவன், அயர்வரும் அமரர்கள் அதிபதி எவனவன், துயரறு சுடரடி தொழுதலன் மனனி என ஈன்ற தமிழ்த்தாய்க்கு எந்தன் முதற்கண் வணக்கங்கள். இந்த விவேகானந்தா காலேஜ் கல்லூரியின் மாணவர்களை சந்திப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். இந்த காலை வணக்கங்கள். ஸோ கொஸ்டின், சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ்னா என்ன அண்ட் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ் எந்த அளவுக்கு கார்பரேட் லைஃப்ல ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். நான் தமிழ்லையும் பேசுகிறேன், இங்கிலீஷ்லையும் பேசுகிறேன். எப்பப்பெல்லாம் கன்வீனியண்ட்டாக இருக்கோ அப்போக்கப்போ நான் அப்படியே தமிழ் அண்ட் இங்கிலீஷ் மாற்றிக்கிறேன். நம்ம காலேஜில் படிக்கிறது கெமிஸ்ட்ரி, மேக்ஸ், அக்கௌண்டன்சி, பயாலஜி, சோஷியாலஜி, அதெல்லாம் வந்து சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ், ஹார்ட் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ், அதெல்லாம் நம்ம கற்றுக்குறோம். அதை தவிர இது வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். மேக்ஸ்னா எல்லாரும் பிஎஸ்சி மேக்ஸ் படிக்கிறாங்க, எல்லாரும் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிக்கிறாங்க. ஆனால் வேலைக்குன்னு போகும்போது சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா நம்ம ஒருத்தரோட ஒருத்தர் எப்படி பேசுகிறோம், கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறது. நம்மளால அடுத்தவங்களை எப்படி கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ண முடியுது. ஒரு டிஃபிகல்ட் சுச்சுவேஷனில் ஒரு குரூப்பில் 10 பேர் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் அந்த 10 பேரில் யார் ஒரு லீடராக எமர்ஜ் ஆகி அவங்கள வழிநடத்தி கொண்டு போகிறாங்க. இல்லை ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் சுச்சுவேஷன், அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணுறது, ப்ராப்ளம் சால்விங் ஸ்கில்ஸ். இல்லை ஒரு கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் இருக்கு, நம்ம ஒரு குரூப்பில் ஒரு சுச்சுவேஷன், அதில் வந்து எப்படின்னா எந்த பக்கம் எடுத்தாலும் அதில் வந்து கொஞ்சம் நிறைய டிஃபிகல்ட்டிஸ் இருக்கும். அதில் எது சரியான முடிவு எது, அந்த மாதிரி இதெல்லாம் தான் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறது. இது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். நம்ம படிக்கிற எந்த அளவுக்கு படிப்பு முக்கியமோ அந்த மாதிரி இந்த சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸுங்கிறது நம்ம வேலைக்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியம். என்ன காரணம், நம்ம வேலைக்கு போனோம்னா படிப்பை விட இந்த சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ் தான் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப டெய்லி உபயோகமாகும். ஏன்னா நம்ம ஒரு வேலைக்கு போகும்போது ஒரு 10 பேரோட நம்ம வேலைக்கு போகிறோம், 20 பேரோட வேலையை செய்கிறோம். ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு ஐடியா இருக்கும். அதில் நம்ம ஐடியாவை நம்ம எப்படி கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணுறோம், அடுத்தவங்க ஒரு நல்ல ஐடியா சொன்னாங்கன்னா அதை நம்ம எப்படி கேட்டுக்கிறோம், அதை கேட்டுக்கிட்டு எது நல்லதாக இருக்கோ நம்மளோட கம்பெனிக்கோ நம்ம குரூப்புக்கோ எது நல்லது அது பார்த்து நடந்துக்கிறது, இதெல்லாம் தான் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸுங்கிறது. இது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஒரு கம்பெனியில் வேலைக்கு எடுக்கும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 2 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு 2 பேரும் பிஎஸ்சி படிச்சிருக்காங்க. இதில் இந்த விவேகானந்தா காலேஜ்லேருந்து இல்லை 2 பேரும் பிகாம் படிச்சிருக்காங்க, 2 பேர் 70 மார்க் வாங்கியிருக்காங்க, அக்கௌண்டன்ஸில் 90 மார்க் வாங்கியிருக்காங்க. அப்படின்னா அவங்க 2 பேரில் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ் யாருக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு? Who is better in communication? Who is able to communicate well his point of view? Who is able to collaborate with people? அடுத்தவங்களோட சேர்ந்து வேலை யாரால செய்ய முடியுது? Who is able to do problem solving? ஏதோ ஒரு கஷ்டம் அப்படின்னு வந்தோன்னா அந்த கஷ்டத்தை முடிச்ச எப்படி அவுக்குறாங்க? ஒரு கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் 2 பேருக்கு நடுவில் வருது, கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், ஒரு லீடர்ஷிப் ஸ்கில்ஸ், முன்னிலைப்படுத்தி முன்னுக்கு கொண்டு போகிற தன்மை யார்கிட்ட இருக்கு? அவங்களுக்கு தான் பிரதானமாக அந்த கம்பெனியில் வேலை கிடைக்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு. இது வந்து நம்ம காலேஜில் படிக்கும்போது இதெல்லாமும் நம்ம கற்றுக்கணும். மற்ற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸோட, டீச்சர்ஸோட ஒரு குரூப் டிஸ்கஷன், இல்லை ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் காலேஜில் கொடுக்கறது இதுதான் காரணம். ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ்லாம் நம்ம பண்ணும்போது 4 பேர் 5 பேரோட பண்ணும்போது ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு ஐடியா இருக்கும். ஒவ்வொருத்தரோட பெஸ்ட் ஐடியாஸையும் அதில் எடுத்து வச்சு நம்ம ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்டை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணுவோம். இது அந்த குரூப்பில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறதுங்கிறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். தட்ஸ் வாட் இஸ் கால்ட் குரூப் டைனமிக்ஸ். அந்த குரூப்பில் ஹவு டு யூ ஒர்க், ஹவு டு யூ டேக் அலாங் பீப்புள் வித் டைவர்ஸ் வியூஸ். உங்க எண்ணத்துக்கு மாறுபட்ட எண்ணங்கள் மற்றவங்கள்ட்ட இருக்கலாம், அவங்களையும் உங்களோட சேர்த்து நீங்க எப்படி கொண்டு போறீங்க, அவங்க எண்ணத்துல இருக்கிறது எந்த அளவுக்கு கரெக்ட், எந்த அளவுக்கு தப்பு, எது நல்லது, அதை எடுத்துட்டு எப்படி நடத்த முடியும், இதெல்லாம் தான் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ். These are all very very critical for a corporate job. Over to you, KG.
Well said, KG. I think soft skills are extremely important, and it is important not to just know the soft skills are important. It is important to develop soft skills. So in this context, Shweta, over to you. Can you just help our students understand, apart from the importance of soft skills, how does one go about developing them so that they master the art of having great soft skills?
Thank you for that question. And KG already set a great foundation. Soft skills are super important. How do you develop them? The best way to observe, to develop soft skills is by observation. And as the principal, Mr. Venkatesan, very nicely explained, you're already doing that in Vivekananda College by observing the quiet hour. When you are quiet and you are not just not speaking, but also inner quiet, and you observe what is happening and you develop humility, you will start developing, you will start noticing what is really happening and why is somebody else effective. And inner quiet is more important. I could be not speaking, but if I am constantly thinking in my head, oh, what should I say next? How can I make myself look better? Then it stops me from observing. The real way to develop soft skills is by quieting everything, calming down, and observe. Communication, like you already heard, is not about language. It is not about speaking great English or Tamil or Kannada or any other language. In fact, so much of the work that I have done is outside India, and so many countries, they don't speak good English at all. European countries don't speak great English. It is about creating common understanding. And to create common understanding, to understand, you have to first listen. And to listen, you have to be quiet. So I would say, be calm, be humble, observe, and then what KG talked about. Let's look at each of the different soft skills, right? Communication. You observe, but you can also today go to sources like if you just Google on YouTube or you go on Google, you say free courses on great presentations, free courses on, how do I articulate? I saw a question, what do you mean by articulation? Articulation is how do I present an idea in the least possible words and maximum possible impact. If you decide that, okay, this is one skill I need to have, like KG, Mr. Krishnan Govindan talked about, team conflict management skills. What is team conflict management skills? I'm part of a team. What can I do to reduce conflict? You can just go first, sit and write down. I would highly urge all of you to have a journal for yourself. That, okay, this is what I need to develop in myself. And you just go on Google and look at free courses available, whether it is Udemy, YouTube, Upgrad. There are so many free courses on all of these soft skills. And then you have to practice. And in the L&D world, in the learning and development world, we call it 1 degree of shift. You don't have to worry about everything that I have to do. Don't worry. Don't get stressed. One thing you're going to do differently in the next 3 months. You just plan on that and implement it. And then keep it on as a continuous habit. That's all I have to say, KG.
Very good.
So what do you, Munish?
I think, this is really, really good. I'm so happy to see the students over there again. This is one of the things, we are engaging with the students. And Mr. Krishnan, this question is to you from my side, and this is the most important question in the context of today's crisis, wherein, the livelihood, saving lives and saving livelihood is focus of everyone. And when you are looking at saving livelihood, what are the emerging trends? What is that, a student has to prepare himself, when he is entering in the corporate world or entering in the work area, as an entrepreneur or as an employee, whatever it is there. So what are the trends emerging? Work from home, for example, is a trend which is really coming up. How is it going to help students over there? So over to you, Krishnan, sir.
Thank you, Munish. I'll just rephrase the way what you're asking is, in the new world, how is the corporate world, how is it going to change?
Yes.
Or what are the students should do to equip themselves?
Yes.
Okay. Now, whether the world is changing or not, in the உலகம் மாறுது மாறல, இந்த கோவிட் வந்திருக்கு வரல, அது முக்கியம் இல்லை. நீங்க ஒரு கார்ப்பரேட் வேர்ல்ட்ல போய் வேலை செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு எந்த ஜாப் செய்யறோம் அப்படிங்கிறது முக்கியம் இல்லை. நான் காமர்ஸ் படிச்சிருக்கேன், அதனால எனக்கு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் ஜாப்ல தான் போகணும். இல்லை நான் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிச்சிருக்கேன், அதனால கெமிக்கல் லைன்ல தான் போகணும். நான் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் படிச்சிருக்கேன், அதனால கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் இன்ஜினியர், கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ்ல தான் போகணும் அப்படிங்கிறது இல்லை. உங்களுக்கு எதுல பிடிச்சிருக்கு, எதுல ஜாப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்கு, அதுல go and take up the job. And once you take up the job, what is that you should do? மூணு ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து, do you enjoy the job? நீங்க பண்ற வேலை உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கா? Do you enjoy the job what you are doing? அதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். ரெண்டாவது, once you enjoy the job, the second thing is, do you learn from the job? நீங்க அதுல இருந்து என்ன கத்துக்கிறீங்க? நேத்திக்கு இருந்ததை விட இன்னைக்கு ஏதாவது எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கத்துன்னு இருக்கீங்களா? Have you moved one level up? What Shweta said, 1 degree movement. Yesterday I was X, today I have now moved to X plus 1 or X plus 2. So that second thing is about learning from the work. மூணாவது, what is that I am contributing? நான் என்ன கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்றேன்? ஏன்னா இப்ப காலேஜ்ல இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் நம்ம ஃபீஸ் கொடுத்து படிக்கிறோம். ஆனா வேலைக்கு போனான்னா நமக்கு அவங்க சம்பளம் கொடுக்குறாங்க. நம்ம சம்பளம் வாங்கும்போது what is the contribution I do to this organization? என்னோட இந்த ஆர்கனைசேஷனுக்கு நான் என்ன கொடுக்குறேன், திருப்பி என்ன கொடுக்குறேன், வாங்குற சம்பளத்துக்கு நான் என்ன கொடுக்குறேன்? தட் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அண்ட் இந்த கோவிட் வந்து கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு இருக்கும், இன்னும் ஒரு 6 மாசம், 1 வருஷம், 1.5 வருஷம், nobody knows எத்தனை மாசத்துக்கு எத்தனை வருஷத்துக்கு இருக்கும்னு தெரியாது. பட் eventually we will all go back to work. And when you go back to work, corporate world, the most important thing is to remain patient. Because எல்லாரும் ஜாயின் பண்ணின உடனே, சார் எனக்கு அடுத்த ப்ரமோஷன் எப்போ கிடைக்கும், அதுக்கு அடுத்த ப்ரமோஷன் எப்போ கிடைக்கும், அவங்களுக்கு மைண்டில் இருக்கிறது அது ஒன்று தான், அடுத்த ப்ரமோஷன். ஆனால் கார்பரேட் லைஃப் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு டெஸ்ட் மேட்ச் மாதிரி. இட்ஸ் லைக் அ டெஸ்ட் மேட்ச். இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் அ T20 that I come and play in 20 overs, get out and go. It's not like that. It's a test match. ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு பேஷண்ட்டாக இருக்கணும். And if you are doing well, you will get results, you will get the promotions, you will get the accolades, you will get the required salary increment, bonus, எல்லாமே கிடைக்கும். ஆனா most important thing is patience. அந்த patience இருந்தா தான் நம்மளால வந்து கார்ப்பரேட் லைஃப்ல முன்னுக்கு வர முடியும். That's very very important. Whether it is COVID, non-COVID, doesn't matter. எந்த ஜாப்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணாலும் ஒரு சில வருஷங்கள் அந்த கம்பெனில நீங்க இருக்கணும். 5 வருஷம், 3 வருஷம், 6 வருஷம் அப்படின்னு நீங்க இருக்கணும். You have to spend a minimum few years, because first few years you will only be learning. Your contribution to the organization will be relatively low. Then slowly as you grow, as you spend more time in the organization, your contribution will start happening. Then the organization will also start valuing your contribution. நீங்க கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா ஆரம்பத்துல நீங்க கத்துக்கிறது நிறைய, ஆனா நாள் பட நீங்க அந்த ஆர்கனைசேஷன் நீங்க கொடுக்கறது நிறைய. அப்படி வரும்போது தான் உங்களுக்கு ப்ரமோஷன், உங்களுக்கு தேவைப்படுற இன்க்ரிமெண்ட், போனஸ் அதெல்லாம் கிடைக்கும். ஸோ ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட், பேஷன்ஸ் வேணும் கார்பரேட் லைஃப்ல. தட்ஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஓவர் டு யூ, Manish.
Thank you very much. Mr. Krishnan, I just want to, because you have, given a very important point, I just want to say, is salary the important factor? All the other points which you have shared is the important factor? Just an add-on question to what you just answered.
No, if you ask me, salary is not the only criteria. In fact, if you get the other 3 things, you will never be worried about salary, because what salary is at the end of the day is for sustenance and then for you to grow, and the salary will come automatically. The moment you enjoy, you will start contributing. நீங்க எப்ப அந்த ஜாபை என்ஜாய் பண்றீங்களோ அந்த ஜாப்ல ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிங்க. கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சீங்கன்னா உங்களை எம்ப்ளாய் பண்ணவங்க ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா உங்களுக்கு salary நிறைய கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க. இன்னைக்குமே salary அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ஒரு அவுட்கம். தட் இஸ் நாட் த கோல். அது வந்து ஒரு பிரதானம் கிடையாது. நீங்க பிரதானம் வந்து உங்களோட கான்ட்ரிபியூட் நீங்க பண்ணினீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா salary வரும். ஸோ salary is only a byproduct, and the main objective is contribution, learning, enjoying the job.
Perfect, sir. So happy to hear this thing. I think this is very, very important for students to understand what Mr. Krishnan just now said, since they are there, that, we do not have to get into that vicious circle of what is the highest salary whose student is getting. No, what is important is experience, the skill, the passion, your liking, whatever, Mr. Krishnan said. I think this is very, very relevant. Thank you for this, sir. KG sir, over to you.
I think well said. in every sense of the word, you have discussed soft skills for so far. You realize that what job one needs to do doesn't depend on what one has studied. And number two, that just mastering a domain is not enough. The ability to have soft skills that masters your domain is more critical. And moving away from soft skills, I think now we're going to use Shweta Kumar's HR experience and ask her, for students, what is this upskilling and reskilling that they should constantly look out for, and how do they go about it?
Thank you. Thank you for that question, KG. I think it's a very important question. So what is upskilling really? Upskilling is developing greater depth to do what you can do even better. Okay, that is upskilling. And reskilling is acquiring new skills. If all of you if you just pick up a newspaper today and see what is happening in your state, Tamil Nadu, or what is happening in India or in the world, you will see there is major disruption everywhere in the world. The pandemic, COVID has just made it faster, but otherwise because of technology, there is a lot of disruption. What it means is everybody, not just you as a student, but even inside organization, people are reskilling and upskilling themselves. So I work for a company which is into e-learning, and we have 1 million users on our platform. And during COVID, people were spending on an average of 25 hours per week learning new things, right? So now the question is, it is like when you're very hungry and you go to a mall, there is just so much choice. You might get overwhelmed. What should I learn? Oh God, what to learn? So here I will draw back on what Mr. Krishnan very nicely said. The first thing to do is start with yourself. What is my interest? What am I really enjoying? What is it that, don't start by thinking, like he said, my promotion, my salary, it will come. First, you start by thinking, what is it that I'm interested in? And in the next few years, what would I love to do? In today's world, there are so many opportunities, design, content. If you're a creative person, design, there is just too much of opportunities. If you're a writer and you like to write, huge opportunities in content. If you're a finance accounts kind of a person, fintech is booming like anything. If you're an engineering person, process, and there are just so many opportunities, digital opportunities. So first you identify, what do I like, what do I enjoy? Then you start by saying, okay, what is the kind of, so read a lot. Please don't just focus on what your engineering or your course material or your BCom or MBA. Read what is happening in the world. Where is the innovation happening? I just recently heard one beautiful news item saying, thanks to this COVID pandemic, people have lost jobs, which is not a good outcome. But because of that, 5 years worth of innovation is now getting rolled out in 18 months. People are innovating because there is a crisis. People have a problem, so they're innovating. All of you are potential entrepreneurs. All of you can innovate. So be curious. What is happening in the world? Social sector, what is happening? Environment, what is happening? What is happening in finance? What is happening in the country? What can I do to make my life a little better? And then you go and search. Now, if anybody is interested in learning for free, trust me, you don't have to spend a single money. Between Khan Academy, free courses on Udemy, free courses on YouTube, you can learn anything you want. You don't have to wait. So the upskilling and reskilling opportunity, coming back to just wrapping it up to what KG talked about, it is a universe, it's a whole world, prapancha of opportunities. You have to start by saying, what do I want to do more of? And what is the one thing that I need to learn to do better? And one last thing on this I want to say, don't just learn and leave it. Practice it. If you have learned a skill, practice. You learned Excel, practice it. Learned a presentation skill, make a presentation. Only then it will become finalized. No point learning the cycle by watching a video. You have to cycle. You have to go out there and cycle. So that's all I have to say. KG.
So that's right. So I think upskilling and reskilling is important. You also go and find it. But the quest to understand where is your gap, that is, where do I need skilling? And the most important part in all our lives is self-evaluation and self-awareness. How does one go about it? And then proceed towards the skilling and upskilling.
To begin with, as a student, KG, the job can be the first anchor for sure, right? Or the job that I'm applying for, that, okay, it can be self-driven. It can also be by asking people around you. Mr. Krishnan talked beautifully about, the importance of soft skills. One thing that has worked for me in my life, 23 years of experience, I sit down with people that I'm not getting along with. And I ask them, if you wanted me to do one thing better, what could I do? You are in a college situation, you're doing placements, you're doing activities, you're doing projects. Ask people that you're especially having little problems with, sit down for a cup of coffee. Coffee, I really like coffee, so I'm bringing up coffee examples. Say that, if I had to do this better, what would you like me to do? And they will tell you, you could have communicated better. You could have not been so much defensive. You could have articulated better. You could have solved it better. That tells you, you don't have to wait to join a job to start getting feedback. Even in a job, all of you will get jobs. Don't wait for an appraisal or just going to the manager and saying, give me feedback, give me feedback. Ask your team members, ask your vendor, ask the person who works with you, is there anything you want me to do better? Asking people is the best way to get that inputs. And then there is a universe of how to learn.
Perfect. Very good.
Perfect. So what do you, Munish?
I think I think these things are warming up. A lot of good questions coming in. I'm seeing a lot of good questions. But one of the features of this crisis is work from home. I used to travel a lot. 15 days in a month. I used to travel, and for the last 9 months, I am at home. I've not seen the airport. Okay, so and this work from home culture which is coming in and which is being, there was a survey recently where 83% of the CEOs said they will not ask their employees to come to office, post pandemic also, post this crisis is over. Now this, opens up very huge opportunities for the tier 2, tier 3 cities. In a Madurai city where parents had to send their kids outside Madurai for better opportunities. Today, when you are at home, whether you are in Madurai or you are in Bangalore, or you're in Delhi, how does it matter? Even if you are even in the Bay Area, how does it matter? So work from home is here to stay, and this opens up huge opportunities for the students there. Please understand, this is big change. Your parents are not allowing you to come to, go out of Madurai to somewhere else. They want you to stay in the city because they care for you. They are worried about you. So when you have to work from home, Mr. Krishnan, I'm coming to you. What are the skills now they have to require, they have to be aware about, because work from home is a very different way of working. Okay. We have adapted to you, but the students have obviously learned online. They have started learning do how online classes, but working from home is a very different opportunity. How do they need to prepare yourself, for that? Mr. Krishnan, over to you.
Actually, thanks, Munish. The question is very interesting. For us, it's actually a big change because we have went to the corporate, we have gone to the office, and today we are working from home. Fortunately for the students, they have not gone to the office at all. So they will be starting their work from home only. Yes. To that extent, they don't need to unlearn anything. They have to basically learn a few things. And other ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இப்போ காலேஜ் படிக்கிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு யாருக்குமே இது வரைக்கும் வேலைக்கு போகல, அதனால ஆஃபீஸில் எப்படி இருக்கும் என்ன எது அதெல்லாம் தெரியாது. இப்போ வீட்டில இருந்தே வேலை பார்க்குறாங்க. வீட்டில இருந்து வேலை பார்க்கறதுங்கிறது ஒரு டபுள் எட்ஜ் ஸ்வார்ட், ரெண்டு பக்கமும் இருக்கு. அதாவது நிறைய அட்வான்டேஜஸ் இருக்கு, சில டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜஸ் இருக்கு. நீங்க அட்வான்டேஜஸ் என்ன? டெய்லி காத்தால 1 மணி நேரம் டிராவல் பண்ண வேண்டாம். எந்த ஊருக்கு நீங்க போனாலும் சரி, மட்ராஸ்ல இருந்தாலும் சரி, பாம்பேல இருந்தாலும் சரி, எந்த ஊருக்கு நீங்க வேலைக்கு போனாலும் நீங்க இருக்கிற இடத்துல இருந்து ஆபீஸ் ரொம்ப தூரத்துல இருக்கும். ஆனா இங்க அப்படி கிடையாது. வீட்ல இருந்து you are going to work. The biggest challenge is when you are going to office, you will be fully prepared, you will be clean shaven, you will dress up well. But whereas when you are working from home, you feel that there is only somebody is going to just see your face. So why should I take a bath? Why should I do this? I'll just get up and then I'll come and sit in front of the laptop. அதாவது நான் காலேஜ் ஹாஸ்டல் இது உங்க விவேகானந்தா காலேஜில் அப்படி கிடையாது. எங்க பிரின்சிபல் ஆரம்பத்திலே சொன்னா உங்களெல்லாம் 4:30 மணிக்கெல்லாம் எழுப்பி விட்டுடுவாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்கெல்லாம் ப்ரேயர்லாம் பண்ணி படிக்கிறதுலாம் அவ்வளோ இது இருக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி. ஆனால் வீட்டில இருந்து வேலை பார்க்கும்போது என்ன ஆகும்? அதெல்லாம் இல்லாம அப்படியே நம்ம எந்திருந்தோமா பல் தேய்ச்சிட்டு வந்து லேப்டாப்ல உட்காந்தோமா அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். அப்படிலாம் இருக்கக்கூடாது. வீட்டில் இருந்தாலும் ஆஃபீஸ் என்விரான்மெண்ட் யூ ஷுட் பிரிங் இட் இன் யுவர் மைண்ட். நீங்க உட்கார்ந்து இருக்கிற ஆஃப் தட் பிளேஸ் வாட் எவர் தட் வேர், நீங்க தனியா இதுக்காக உங்களுக்கு ரூம் வேணும் அப்படிலாம் தேவையில்லை. wherever you are seated within the middle of the house also no problem. நீங்க வீட்டோட ஒரு ஹால்ல ஒரு ஓரத்துல உட்கார்ந்துருக்கீங்க, இல்ல ஒரு ரூம்ல ஒரு ஓரத்துல உட்கார்ந்துருக்கீங்க, doesn't matter. பட் அந்த இடத்த கிளீனா வச்சுக்கோங்க. யூ ஷுட் பி வெல் ட்ரெஸ்ட், யூ ஷுட் பி ரெடி, யூ ஷுட் பி ஆன் டைம். ஆஃபீஸ்னா எப்படி நீங்க 9:30 மணினா 9:30 மணிக்கு எப்படி இருப்பீங்களோ அதே மாதிரி இங்க இருக்கணும். அந்த இன்பிட்வீன்ல நான் ஒரு வேலை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது நடுவில் போய் வேற வேலை செய்யறேன் அந்த மாதிரிலாம் செய்ய முடியாது. யூ ஹாவ் டு பி அப்சல்யூட்லி ஆன் டைம். அண்ட் இன்ஃபேக்ட் இந்த கோவிட்ல நிறைய இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா பீப்புளோட ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆயிருக்கு. காத்தால 9லேருந்து சாயங்காலம் 6 மணி வரைக்கும் when people have worked, if they had worked in office, ஒரு ஆஃபீஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்கன்னா they don't work for the full 8 hours. in between வெளியே சிகரெட் பிடிக்க போறேன், சிகரெட் இல்ல ஒரு டீ சாப்பிட போறேன், இல்ல ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட பேசுறேன், அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. They all sit at home and then they work, and hence the productivity has actually gone up by about 10 to 20%. So that you have to keep it in mind that நான் வீட்ல தானே இருக்கேன், நான் என்ன வேணா பண்ணலாம், எப்ப வேணா வரலாம். No, that is not possible. You have to be very, very serious, and every day you should be on time every time. ஒரு question வந்திருந்தா, I'm just going slightly aside. ஒரு candidate Dinesh Kumar has asked, how do I improve my interview skills? ஒரு சின்ன இது சொல்றேன் உங்களுக்கு. நீங்க இன்டர்வியூ உங்களை யாரா எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னா நீங்க டென்ஷனே ஆக வேண்டாம். Because the person who is interviewing you is also equally tensed. You have to understand it. I'm telling you the trade secret. When I go to the campuses, when I recruit people, I am equally tensed because I need to get good quality candidates into my company. I want good quality people. So every candidate when I'm looking at, I am seeing whether this candidate will he join me, will he fit into my company, will this candidate, even இந்த பையன் நம்ம கம்பெனி சூட் ஆவானா, இந்த பொண்ணு நமக்கு சூட் ஆவாளா, இந்த பையன் சூட் ஆவா, அப்படி எங்களுக்கும் அந்த டென்ஷன் இருந்துட்டே இருக்கு. அதனால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஃபார்மோஸ்ட் இன்டர்வியூ போகும்போது டோன்ட் ஹேவ் எனி டென்ஷன். தட்ஸ் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங். செகண்ட், உங்களை இன்டர்வியூ பண்றவங்க உங்களை என்னைக்குமே they will try to get the best out of you. அவங்களுக்கு உங்களுக்கு தெரியாததை கேள்வி கேட்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற இன்டென்ஷனே கிடையாது. அவங்க nobody has an intention to ask you questions which you don't know. They will always ask you questions which you know. They will make you feel comfortable, and so that the best in you can come out. இது ஒன்றும் இதுக்கு கிடையாது. ரொம்ப உன்னை ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணி உனக்கு தெரியாததை இது கேட்டு உனக்கு வேர்த்து you make them sweat. That's not the intention of the panelist. The interviewer will ask you as simple questions as possible, and most important thing is be frank. If you don't know, please tell them that I don't know. They will give you an opportunity to answer something which you know. But if you don't know, but if you are going to tell lies to cover it up, you will get caught. So அது என்னைக்குமே பண்ணாதீங்க. நெவர் போய் சொல்லவே சொல்லாதீங்க. தெரியலன்னா எனக்கு தெரியல, நான் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறேன். அப்ப நீங்க அவங்கள்ட்ட நிறைய எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுக்கலாம். இந்த 5 ஐட்டம் எனக்கு தெரியல, நான் அந்த காலேஜ் ஜாயின் பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்னா என்னன்னே தெரியாது. இந்த 3 வருஷத்துல நான் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய கத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். சப்போஸ் உங்களுக்கு அவங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல கேட்கறாங்க, உங்களால இங்கிலீஷ்ல பதில் சொல்ல முடியல, நீங்க தமிழ்ல பதில் சொல்றீங்க, கான்பிடென்ட்டா சொல்லுங்க, சார் எங்களால இங்கிலீஷ் கத்துக்க முடியும். இங்கிலீஷ்ங்கிறது ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ். ஐ வில் ஆல்வேஸ் லேர்ன் இட். ஏன்னா நமக்கு சயின்ஸ் என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா 5 வயசுக்குள்ள ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ் நம்ம கத்துக்கணும். அது எந்த லாங்குவேஜா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. யூ ஹாவ் டு லேர்ன் அ லாங்குவேஜ் பிஃபோர் த ஏஜ் ஆஃப் 5. One language you have to learn. Once you have learned that language, you can learn any other language anytime. And in today's context, as what Shweta was saying, you go to Google, there are translations available. And now she has traveled the whole world. If you go, in fact, English is the least spoken language in the world. In fact, எல்லாரும் நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க உலகத்திலே ஜாஸ்தி பேசுறது இங்கிலீஷ் தான். இங்கிலீஷ் கிடையாது. French is the most widely spoken language. ஆனா ரஷ்யால இருக்கிறவங்களும் பேசுறாங்க, மற்ற கண்ட்ரில இருக்கிறவங்க, கொரியால இருக்கிறவங்களும் பேசுறாங்க, சைனால இருக்கிறவங்க, அவங்களுக்குலாம் இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியாது. அதனால தமிழ் தெரிஞ்சது, அதனால எனக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியல அப்படிலாம் நீங்க நினைக்கவே வேண்டாம். ஸோ இன்டர்வியூல தெரியலன்னு சார் எனக்கு தெரியாது, பட் ஐ வில் லேர்ன் இட் ஃபாஸ்ட். ஐ எம் அ குவிக் லேர்னர். யூ கிவ் தெம் 2 எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ். எனக்கு ஸ்விம்மிங்கே தெரியாது. நான் சின்ன வயசுல நான் கன்னியாகுமரியில இருந்தேன், இல்ல கோவில்பட்டியில இருந்து, எனக்கு அப்பெல்லாம் எனக்கு ஸ்விம்மிங்கே தெரியாது. நான் ஆனா கத்துக்கிட்டேன், ஸ்விம்மிங் கத்துக்கிட்டேன். எனக்கு மௌன விரதம்னா என்னன்னே தெரியாது. இந்த காலேஜ் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் மௌன விரதம் கத்துக்கிட்டேன். அந்த மாதிரி நான் என்னால கத்துக்க முடியும். ஐ கேன் லேர்ன். இந்த அடுத்த கொஸ்டின் வருது. ஹவு டு ஸ்பீக் இங்கிலீஷ் ஃப்ளூயன்ட்லி? கவலையே படாதீங்க. There is nothing called fluent English. You have to speak. Whether it is a broken English doesn't matter. நீங்க தப்பா பேசினா கூட you will pick up the language. ஆனா you should have confidence to speak the language.
Yeah.
Actually, ஒரு சின்ன எப்படின்னா நம்ம சின்ன குழந்தையா இருக்கும்போது what we do is whenever we fall down, நம்ம பக்கத்துல யாராவது இருக்காங்களா அப்படின்னு பார்த்துட்டு உடனே நம்ம எழுந்திருந்து we will start walking. ஆனா when we grow up, நம்ம கொஞ்சம் வயசானதுக்கு அப்புறம் இந்த காலேஜ்லாம் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம வாயை திறந்து இங்கிலீஷ் பேசினாலும் ஏதாவது தப்பு இருக்குமோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நம்ம வாயை மூடிட்டே இருப்போம். We will not even open our mouth. வாயை திறக்க மாட்டோம். வாயை திறந்து பேசுங்க. You make mistake, doesn't matter. Only if you make mistake, you will learn. Don't even worry about it.
Good.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Manish.
Very good. Really, really, I think I'm getting enthused. I'm getting motivated the way you are speaking, and I think motivating all the students. I think there is only one limit, which is we set on ourselves. The opportunities today are unlimited, and what we can do is, there is no limit to that. The limit is what we set to ourselves. So I think great to hear you. KG, over to you.
So I think from what KG has told us so far, I remember a movie called Pushpa Vimanam of Kamal Haasan many years ago. It was a silent movie, and you can actually, it's a 1 hour 15-minute movie where you can actually watch the movie through silence, and communication actually happens. So language is not the barrier. The barrier is the intention is what you want to communicate needs to get communicated, and if that is done through either sign language or even through explanations of examples of anecdotes, they still get communicated. But having said that, Shweta, corporates still have expectations. So you may have the best of soft skills, you may have the best of domain knowledge, you may want to be a go-getter and want to learn things that you don't know. You want to be honest, you have told them everything about yourself, yet corporate have expectations. And I think the students would like to know, what kind of expectations do corporates have when candidates come in for the jobs?
Right. Absolutely great, correct question, KG. And I think if you just build on from all the things that have been shared so far, everything that we have spoken about, it is that nobody is expecting, corporates are having expectations around the world, but nobody is expecting you to be a superhero. So first of all, you have to stop, like Mr. Krishnan also talked about, don't start off with stress. Oh my God, I'm going into this corporate. Oh God, I don't know everything. No, that's not what your intent is. First thing to do in how do you manage corporate expectations is, first of all, ask questions. Don't be afraid of looking like making yourself, oh, I don't know. Start by asking questions. Ask, if you're preparing for a job, you ask the corporates, what is it that you would like me to learn more of? One of my best examples I can tell you in my life, I used to be the HR manager at Motorola, and we used to we have hired lots of people from Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. The first thing they would tell me in the interview is, Madam, I don't know English, cannot speak English. I don't know problem solving. I don't know so much of, coding. I don't have certification. And I used to say, don't worry. In this time between the job interview and the time you come to job, I want you to read the English newspaper. And just read it every day, whatever you can understand. So the first thing to do is, what are corporates expecting you to do is, corporates are expecting you to come ready with some good attitude of learning, humility, and hunger to learn more. If you are coming with that preparedness, with a little bit more better worldview, you're already doing a great job. That's number one. That's on the attitude. Having said that, like Mr. Krishnan talked about, and I saw one comment from a student, from Dinesh, whatever job you're interested in, whether you're interested in a chemistry course or an engineering course or a content or a design or a coding, whatever it is you're interested in, don't wait, okay, this is what I know, this is what my books have taught me, this is what the job, let me wait. No, you start learning and practicing it online. Today, if you go, Jeevitam is an example, and I can tell you so many examples where you can intern for free. Corporates love it when you have got some experience. It doesn't matter how much you got paid, whether it was relevant to your field or not. Corporates are expecting people who are showing hunger, who are showing some initiative of their own. And if you can do that, and you can just Google and say, I want to intern, it's okay, I will not get paid, but I'm happy to take up some opportunities. Corporates would love that. So show up for an interview or for your job with the right attitude, and you should have shown them that I can learn, and I'm already doing some investment in my own learning. You have an example here who has done free courses. And I see Dinesh has said a lot of certifications that you have done from Coursera. It's a brilliant thing. Corporates love that kind of attitude. There's one example that I have a chemistry student. It is time to learn many things. I want to do college work, personal work, learning soft skills. How do I manage my time and how to learn all these things with timing? And let me tell you, sir, I'm a working mother. I have a job. I have my own startup, and I'm doing another course. You don't have to manage time. Everybody has only 24 hours of time. Please manage your priorities. Every day, just do 3 or 4 things that you want to do well. You don't worry about, you don't have to do everything every day. But when you are doing that thing, don't think about anything else. You focus on that. Make up your time. Okay, 1 hour I'm going to do this. 1 hour I will do this. Half an hour of extra learning I will do. That's all. So don't get overwhelmed. You divide it into the way you want to, make it work for you. I hope that helped, KJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Munish, over to you.
I think, Shweta, so good to hear you, the hunger, okay, the humility side, which you say, and, the constant learning. I'm 50, but I'm learning, and we have learned in this particular, phase much more, reading, when you were saying reading about newspapers, actually, in my college days, I used to read English newspaper daily, my dad in his office, Economic Times used to come. I used to tell him, bring it in the evening, because in the evening that newspaper has no value, but it was of immense value for me. I used to read specifically the editorial side, and believe me, it enabled me to talk about anything, okay, with the world, It's not what you learn, which you cannot, the teachers cannot teach you. Reading can teach you. Newspaper reading is a habit which I have. I have my morning cuppa starting with, at least now I get 8 to 10 dailies digitally, and there is no cost to it. Earlier it used to cost a lot. I think what you are saying is really, really today very, very relevant. I'm so happy to hear you. And another thing which you really answered well, I'm so happy. See, women, I always call, you are you handle so many things parallelly. I call you superwoman, you are always a superwoman for us, inspiration for so many things, handling your kids, handling your home, because that's a way, and you are at home now. So it's more work now, earlier you used to go to office. There is something which you'll attend when you reach back home. Now you are at home only, and you have a husband to handle, and you have a job to handle. And you still do well. You have a startup on your own. I think this is something, we excuse which we give it to ourselves. Time, there is no time. I think if you want anything, you will find time, and you will prioritize. So happy to hear, Shweta, what you have just now said. Krishnan, I'll keep, hammering you with my other things, See, what is happening now is one of the things which I am seeing is, and when I keep speaking to a lot of corporates, and I keep asking with them, what are the trends emerging? So I'll give you an example. TCS, which is one of the major employers and is the leader today in India. When the IT framework goes, they are going to something called gig. Okay, so they have a project. They are not hiring people. They are getting people for the project. So the project is there. You have a task to deliver. You deliver and you move on. So it's not a job, but there is something you're working with TCS. But you can call it a freelancer assignment. I am a startup-preneur. Shweta, you are a startup-preneur. We all are startup-preneurs. So startup is a new way forward. We don't need only work seekers. We also need work providers, So is entrepreneurship, what is the role of the entrepreneurship going to play? Freelancer, gig economy jobs, which are quasi-entrepreneurial jobs, wherein you are not getting a fixed salary, but you get paid for the work you do. It gives you a lot of flexibilities, because I'm seeing youth, especially, getting that, because they get the flexibility to work for not one organization, work for a couple of organizations, which gives them much more experience and all. The only thing is, they don't get a salary, but they get paid. Probably they get paid more. So what are your views about that, Mr. Krishnan?
There is a constant thing in the minds of the students saying that I have not got people who don't work, people who have completed their course, graduation, but they have not taken up a job. The constant thing is that the government is not providing me a job. எல்லாரும் சொல்றது என்னன்னா, எனக்கு வந்துட்டு நான் படிச்சுட்டேன், ஆனா எனக்கு நான் படிச்ச படிப்புக்கு தகுந்த வேலை கவர்மெண்ட்ல கொடுக்கல. The government has not given me a job suiting my educational qualification. That is actually a myth. First and foremost, expecting somebody to give you a job itself is a myth. You have to seek a job. So அடுத்தவங்க நமக்கு வேலை கொடுக்கணுங்கிற அவசியமே, நம்ம வேலையை தேடி போகணும். And not necessary every time நம்ம தான் வேலை தேடி போகணுன்றதுல, you can become an entrepreneur yourself. நீங்களே ஒரு நிறைய பேருக்கு வேலை கொடுக்குற அளவுக்கு ஒரு என்டர்பிரனரா உங்களால ஆக முடியும். ஸ்வேதா சொன்ன ஒரு மோஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாயிண்ட், attitude. Englishல there is one line says that your attitude will define your altitude. நீங்க எந்த அளவுக்கு போக முடியும் அப்படிங்கறத உங்களோட அணுகுமுறை தான் டிஃபைன் பண்ணும். நீங்க எப்படி ஒரு இதை அணுகுறீங்களோ அதை பொறுத்து தான் உங்களோட வாழ்க்கையில நீங்க உயர்றதோட இதை நீங்க டிஃபைன் பண்ண முடியும். எல்லாரும் இந்த விவேகானந்தா காலேஜ்ல இருக்கிற 500 பேர் இல்ல 1000 பேர் நீங்க இதை பாக்குறீங்க. எல்லாரும் வேலைக்கு தான் போகணும், எல்லாரும் கவர்மெண்ட் ஜாபுக்கு தான் போகணும், இல்ல எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து ஒரு மல்டிநேஷனல் கம்பெனில வேலைக்கு வேணும், ஜாயின் பண்ணும்போது எங்களுக்கு வந்து 10,000 ரூபாய் சம்பளம் வேணும், 20,000 ரூபாய் சம்பளம் வேணும் அப்படி நம்ம நினைக்க முடியாது. எத்தனை பேரால நாங்களே ஒரு வேலைக்கு எங்களால தேடிக்க முடியும், நாங்களே ஒரு பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிக்க முடியும், நாங்க ஆரம்பிக்கிற பிசினஸ்ல இன்னும் 4 பேருக்கு வேலை கொடுக்க முடியும். If you have that in mind, if you think like an entrepreneur, I am sure you will find enough and more ways of doing it. ஒரு சின்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள், அந்த காலத்துல எப்படி சொன்னீங்கன்னா, ஒரு வேலைக்கு போகாதவங்க ஒரு நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து அந்த தெருவில் இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி பில் கட்டணுமா, வாட்டர் டேக்ஸ் கட்டணுமா, இல்ல ஹவுஸ் டேக்ஸ் கட்டணுமா, அதெல்லாம் அவங்க கிளப் பண்ணி ஒரு பையன் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், அவங்க ஒவ்வொருத்தங்கள்ட்டையும் போய் வாங்கிப்பான். அவங்கள்ட்ட 5 ரூபாய் சார்ஜ் பண்ணுவோம். ஒரு நாளைக்கு 3 ஐட்டம் ஹவுஸ் டேக்ஸ் கட்டணும், வாட்டர் டேக்ஸ் கட்டணும், எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி பில் கட்டணும். 3க்கும் சேர்த்து ஒரு வீட்டில் 5 ரூபா வாங்கினாலும் 15 ரூபா ஆச்சு. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 20 பேர் 20 வீட்டில் வாங்கினா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா he will make 300 rupees in a day. That is what today has now become as an aggregator. The bill desk அப்படிங்கிற company is nothing but that you can pay your electricity bill, you can pay your water tax, you can pay your insurance bill, all these things at the click of a button. It's a simple idea, and it is not a new idea which they invented. This was being done in every town, every village. Either it was done as free or it was done for a fee. It was all being done, and somebody thought that they can leverage it. இந்த ஐடியாவை இது ஒரு பெரிய லெவல்ல கொண்டு போகலாம் அப்படின்னு அவங்க நினைச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் இன்னைக்கு பில் டெஸ்க் அப்படின்னு ஒரு பெரிய கம்பெனி, அந்த கம்பெனியோட டர்ன் ஓவர் ரன்ஸ் இன்டு few thousands of crores, பல 1000 கோடிக்கு அந்த கம்பெனியோட டர்ன் ஓவர் இன்னைக்கு போயிருக்கு. அந்த உங்கள்கிட்ட ஒரு பிளிப்கார்ட் ஆரம்பிச்ச பன்சல் ஒரு ஐஐடி கிராஜுவேட், எல்லாரும் போல அவன் வந்து நான் வந்து வேலைக்கு போகணும் அப்படின்னு he didn't think. He said that why should I not start a company of my own wherein I can give employment to so many people. இன்னைக்கு பிளிப்கார்ட் வந்து 10,000 கோடிக்கு வித்திருக்காங்க அந்த கம்பெனியை வால்மார்ட். ஸோ அவங்க அந்த பன்ஸ்ல வந்து உங்களை மாதிரி காலேஜ் படிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி 11th 12th யாராவது ஒருத்தர் பார்த்துருந்தாங்கன்னா anybody would have seen him only as a next door boy. 11th 12th he studied. Nobody would have expected that Bansal would start a company called Flipkart, and that Flipkart will become such a big one, and today it's a 10,000 crore company. That's point number 1. And நீங்க பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது எல்லாரும் வந்து நான் பன்சல் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு நீங்க நினைக்க வேண்டாம். உங்களால 10 பேருக்கு வேலை கொடுக்க முடியும். If you can give job to 10 people, you are an entrepreneur. That is what is the new economy is going to be.
Yes.
The new age India is going to be a lot of SMEs, what we call the small and medium enterprises. ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் ஒரு சின்ன கம்பெனி ஆரம்பிக்கலாம், அந்த கம்பெனில 10 பேருக்கு நீங்க வேலை கொடுக்கலாம். That becomes a யோசிச்சு பாருங்க, ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் 10 பேருக்கு வேலை கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா இப்ப இருக்கிற இந்த 500 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து you will be able to give job for 5,000 people. So this entrepreneurship is a huge opportunity in India, and India is a growing economy. So there is demand for entrepreneurship in every aspect of life. So all that you need to do is just apply your mind. You will be able to do a lot of things. Over to you, Manish.
KG.
So I think there is one more last question coming up. I think we'll take that for Shweta, and very relevant to students because resume writing is an art and also a science. And the students want to know, can you please help us on what is the best way to write a resume?
Certainly, KG. So like, Mr. Krishnan talked about, just as you're nervous about writing your resume, the recruiters are also nervous about missing out good people. So don't be nervous, but be honest. And I would say be very succinct. Don't have to write pages and pages and pages. One rule about resume is never more than 2 pages. Talk about what you can do and what you have done well. Don't write stories, I'm skilled in this, I'm skilled in that. What you have experience you have got, what you have learned is excellent. Make it very clear, very succinct. Don't write pages and pages. Make it easy for the recruiter. So when you're writing your resume, put yourself in the shoes of the recruiter and think about, if I have to highlight the best part of me, if I have to say Shweta Kumar is good in what, how will the resume person know by looking at my my resume? Right from the recruiter's point of view, make it easy for the person to understand. Few bullet points, well organized, very, very honest and succinct. Few phrases, important phrases, what you have done is good enough. That's all. That's what matters. Don't have to write multiple pages. I highly recommend not to do that.
Thanks, Shweta. I think that's relevant. I think what we can do now, Shweta and Krishnan, is just summarize, just even give us the slides, just to summarize what we have talked about so far, so that the students at any point of time. Yes.
There's one question: how to improve the company knowledge skills? Mr. Kamya, somebody has actually sent this question a couple of times. I thought I'll just answer that because they should not feel that we have missed that question. In today's, I remember நான் வந்து என்னோட கிராஜுவேஷன் முடிக்கும்போது 1989 நான் முடிச்சேன். அப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜாப் எனக்கு வந்து ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ். ஐ ஜாயின்ட் ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ். அண்ட் டு நோ அபவுட் ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ், I have to actually go to the library to see their balance sheet, their annual report, all of that. It's very, very cumbersome. ஆனா இன்னைக்கு உங்களுக்குலாம் அப்படி கிடையாது. எந்த கம்பெனியை பத்தி உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா உடனே கூகுள். எல்லாத்துக்கும் கூகுள் மாதா தான். என்ன கேட்டாலும் சரி, சாப்பாடை தவிர பாக்கி அத்தனையும் கூகுள் கொடுத்துரும் உங்களுக்கு. ஸோ கூகுள் போங்க, எந்த கம்பெனியை பத்தி, இன்ஃபேக்ட் ஸ்வேதா சொன்னாப்புல ரெஸ்யூமே ரெடி பண்ணிக்கோங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்டர்வியூக்கு வரும்போது அந்த கம்பெனியை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. கூகுள் போய் சர்ச் பண்ணி அந்த கம்பெனியில என்ன பண்றாங்க, வாட் ஆர் தே டூயிங், வாட் ஆர் தே நாட் டூயிங், அவங்களோட டர்ன் ஓவர் எவ்வளவு, அவங்களோட ப்ராஃபிட் எவ்வளவு, கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா you are basically communicating to the panelist, the interviewer, that you are serious about this job. That is very, very important. That is what we call the attitude. உங்களோட அணுகுமுறை, அந்த கம்பெனியை பத்தி நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற அந்த எண்ணமே ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் இம்ப்ரெஷன் it will create in the mind of the interviewer. So go visit the websites, go to the company website. You are, let's say, attending a interview job for Ramco Cements. Go to Ramco Cement website. Go through where all do they have a plant, what kind of job do they do export, do they அவங்களோட மார்க்கெட் எங்க இருக்கு, சவுத் இந்தியால தான் இருக்கா, நார்த் இந்தியால இருக்கா, எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. அந்த கம்பெனியை பத்தி எவ்வளவு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறீங்களோ அந்த அளவுக்கு உங்களுக்கு நல்லது. கம்பெனியை பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்குலாம் இன்னைக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு இது கிடையாது. உங்களுக்கு இட்ஸ் அவைலபிள் all over the place. Just go to internet, you will get it. Over to you, Mr. Mohan.
Fantastic. Just to summarize what we have talked so far, there are some critical points that you want to share with them. You can actually use the slide.
I just told them, see, communication is a skill. Anna, language is not a requirement. In fact, what Shweta said, see, communication, it's a skill. She said that you don't learn cycling by going through YouTube. You will go and practice. Skillங்கிறது அதுதான். நீங்க வந்து ஒரு தச்சு தொழிலாளியை பாருங்க, இல்ல ஒரு கொத்தனாரை பாருங்க, அவங்க எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு அவங்க எப்படி சொல்லி கொடுக்குறாங்க. டிரைவிங் கத்துக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா நீங்க வந்துட்டு காரை வந்து எப்படி ஓட்டுறதுன்னு கூகுள் பார்த்து ஒரு யூடியூப் பார்த்து கத்துக்க முடியாது. யார் பக்கத்தையாவது உட்கார்ந்து நீங்க கத்துக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில். யாரோடையாவது பேசுங்க. இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேச தெரியல, தமிழ்ல பேசுங்க. இல்ல இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசணும்னு உங்களுக்கு ஆசை இருக்கா, இங்கிலீஷ் தெரிஞ்சவங்களோட பேசுங்க. They will correct the mistakes you make, and then you will pick it up. So it's only by practice you will do. Because I loved that statement what Shweta said, that it is not about learning, you have to practice it. And skill will be learned only by practice. Whether it is carpentry, whether it is plumbing, whether it is masonry, architecture, all the skills are honed only by practice and not by reading literature. That's the first point. Now, career is a test match. ஏற்கனவே சொல்லிட்டேன். ஏன்னா உங்க கேரியர் வந்து ஒரு 20 வயசுக்கு நீங்க ஜாயின் பண்றீங்க, 22 வயசுக்கு ஜாயின் பண்றீங்கன்னா you will retire at the age of 60, almost about 35 to 40 years. Now 35 to 40 years, you cannot score a century in every test match, every one day international. Even if you look at Tendulkar who has played almost 200 test matches, has scored only about 49 centuries, which is 1 in 4. So even in your work life also, if you get one best rating in every 3 years, 4 years, that is good enough for your career. So the next 2 years, 3 years, if your rating is a little average, your increment is a little average, don't worry about it. நீங்க பொறுமையா இருக்கணும். பொறுமையா இருந்தீங்கன்னா you will do really well. Third thing is, நான் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படித்தேன். எனக்கு வந்து கெமிஸ்ட்ரியில தான் எனக்கு போகணும். நான் சொல்றேன், நான் படித்தது வந்து பிஎஸ்சி கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படித்தேன். பிஎஸ்சி கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிச்சுட்டு ஐ ஜாயின்ட் அஸ் அ சேல்ஸ் ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ். அண்ட் நான் படித்த கெமிஸ்ட்ரிக்கும் நான் வித்த ப்ராடக்ட்டும் சம்மந்தமே கிடையாது. From there, I moved on to customer experience. That is when I met up with Mr. KG Mohan. I did my MBA in marketing. நான் மார்க்கெட்டிங் படிச்சுட்டு ஆனால் நான் போய் பண்ணினது வந்து கஸ்டமர் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். So don't get fixated by what you have studied and what is the job you are doing. Don't worry about it. Whatever job you get, enjoy doing it. That's all I have.
Great. And so you also are telling them about what they should do now. So you have given them a lot of messages. I think it's now time for them to know what needs to be done. So Steve can move to the action plan slide.
Yes. Just move to the next. Upskill yourself continuously. That's very, very important. That is what Shweta said today. There are so many sites which are available, which are giving you opportunities. And upskill, it is not necessary that you will learn only from a website or you will learn from a book. It's not necessary. Even when you are working, you learn from your co-worker. நீங்க அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்ல போய் சேர்றீங்க, இல்ல அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்ல போய் சேர்றீங்க, அங்க ஆடிட்ல யாரோ ஒருத்தர் வராங்க, அவங்க என்ன எப்படி ஆடிட் பண்றாங்க, பிக் அப் தட் ஸ்கில். யாரோ ஒருத்தர் கோடவுன் மேனேஜ் பண்றாங்க, how do they do it? During lunch time, speak with them. That is what Shweta was saying. Talk to them and with your eyes and ears open. And listening is different from hearing. நிறைய டைம் நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம், we get confused with hearing and listening. நம்ம காதுல கேட்கறதும் அதை மனசுல வாங்கிக்கிறது, there's a big difference. If you listen, then you will inculcate it, then you will practice it. So upskilling need not be only through a website, through some books or whatever. You can learn from everybody else. That's very, very critical. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, KG. And over to Shweta. Shweta, you also had some very powerful messaging for students, and students will most probably take time to digest and assimilate what has been said. And but it's critical that we keep reminding them. And over to Srishti, next slide.
So a lot of it is, already covered by Krishnan. So I'm Krishnan Govindan sir. So I'm not going to repeat it, but basically remember that crisis is a fertile ground for innovation. This is the perfect time for innovation. Look at it as an opportunity. Careers are evolving rapidly. So anyway, if you think about our own lifetime, we are not going to be retired at the age of 60 like our fathers and parents, right? We are going to keep working and working. So you are going to mutate multiple times. Be prepared for that. And there are a lot of opportunities. You have to basically think of being humble, hungry, and a great team player. Don't try to compete, try to collaborate. If you can just move to the next slide, Srishti. That's where I would like the students to remember. And again, very similar to what Krishnan sir said, learn continuously, read, be broad in your outlook, and be very curious. Please be very curious. Don't stop and accept everything. Innovation starts because somebody asks a question, somebody feels a pain and says, how can I make this problem better? Can I solve this problem? Like Krishnan sir talked about billing as an option. I'm doing some, I'm doing working on a startup because I said, this is a problem that I don't want to face anymore. Can I make it better? So be curious. And the last but not the least, collaborate rather than compete. Even with your fellow students, even in the organization, you can build off each other's ideas. You don't have to always be in that competitive mode. Collaborate and your life will be much better. That's all I have to say, KG.
I think, thanks, KG and Shweta. I think I'll end the entire event by sharing two stories of Swami Vivekananda. I'm sure the students know about it, but it's worthwhile sharing that again. So when Swami Vivekananda had gone to the US, the most famous visit of his in the International Parliament of Religions, he was standing on a bridge, and there were some children who were trying to shoot at eggshells on the river, and they were missing it every time they shot. Swami picked up a gun and he took 12 direct shots and all hit the eggshells. And children were very surprised. And Swami's answer was very simple. He said that all you need to do is focus. Focus on the job at hand. Focus on the eggshells there, and shoot an eggshell, and you will meet your mark. And that's what he did. So from the power of silence comes the power of concentration, to the power of thought, to the power of action, and you achieve your objective. This was one important message of his on focusing. The second story was when he was a child. I think he was about 8 years old, and there's a champak tree in his neighboring house, and he used to go there and go onto the branch and hang upside down. So the elderly man passing by, who was very worried that he would fall and break his limbs. So he told Swami that Narendra at that point of time, that if you continue doing this, the ghost on the tree who is going to come and break your legs. So don't do this. Narendra just nodded and said, okay. And the man went away. And he continued his hanging upside down. And that was because he knew he had done this in the past and nothing had happened to him. So fearlessness comes from experience. So you have to head on, take on the event of fearless, the sense of fear that you have currently. You have a disruptive environment, you have a COVID-19 situation, you have jobs seemingly not being there. And I am showing you on the screen now 40,000 plus jobs available at this moment for going begging for people who want those jobs. So you have to be fearless, understand, break from the boundaries of should I remain in Madurai throughout my life? Should I go to a place where the livelihood is available? And the biggest message Jeevitam wants to give students is student banega Atmanirbhar. That means students need to become independent. And for that, if your focus is on the message of I want to be independent, as Swami said, you have to be fearless. You will pick up any of these jobs that are available and go and join it and use the guidance given by Krishnan and Shweta on how to master that job, how to go for the interview, how to succeed. And lives will be very different. So over to you, Munish, before we conclude, and just want to thank Dr. Chelapandian and Dr. Venkatesan for giving us an opportunity to be in an institution that has inspired thousands of students over the years, and more importantly, brings and inculcates a value system that is very critical for India to move towards the $5 trillion economy that we're dreaming of. And the students of Vivekananda College, I'm sure, who will either be job seekers or even job providers by being entrepreneurs, they're going to contribute a lot in this journey. So over to you, Munish.
First of all, I would like to thank you, the management of Vivekananda College, for giving us this opportunity, the principal, the placement coordinator, and above all, the students, who are, I saw the photographs, which has been sent, there are hundreds of students sitting out there, in various halls and listening to us, I will also like to thank, our panelists, you were amazing, both of you, Shweta and Mr. Krishnan, really, so much of knowledge, so much of experience, so much of advice which you have given to all the students. I'm sure that's going to benefit to all. See, this is a beginning. This is a start. This is where we have started today. Today, this webinar is not the end. It is a beginning. Today you have come to know what is you are capable of and what is available to you. It is all on us to make best of it. So we are going to do a sign a MOU with Vivekananda College soon, and we are going to do college placement drives every month after month after month in your college, so that every student, whether it is a student from first year, second year, third year, whether it is from BA, BCom, BSc, whether it is you are looking at a full-time, part-time opportunities, or you're looking for work for yourself opportunities, I think all will be provided to you all through the year round. So it is all on us. It is as one of the panelists told us, it is all us to set our own limit. The opportunities are limitless. 40,000 is only a number given. Believe me, there are enough opportunities for you all outside waiting up for the grabs. The things have changed. The way we work and live has changed. So is the college placement drive has also changed. It will not be the same. Colleges are recruiting, corporates are recruiting online now. They are training online now. So everything is going to happen online. This webinar is happening, and this college placement drive is also going to happen online. You don't have to come out somewhere. It will happen from wherever you are. So our intent is to make this whole particular, all the students who are attending of Vivekananda College become self-sustainable, become Atmanirbhar. That is where we all, again, I thank you everyone in this, and I wish you all a very happy new year. I wish you all the success in this. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Munish. I think the best way to end a webinar of this kind is allowing a student to speak. I think Dinesh Kumar, who asked questions, I'm going to ask him to speak now. And over to you, Dinesh. Dinesh Kumar, can you hear me?
No, sir. Yes, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Dinesh. Just tell us about the experience of the webinar. And thank you for asking so many questions. And I was deeply, surprised that you've actually taken 250 plus online courses. So you are you must be a Guinness Book World Record holder for this online courses itself. So extremely happy to see a motivated student. So over to you, Dinesh. Introduce yourself and you can speak.
Hi, sir. Welcome you all to. This is Dinesh Kumar. I'm studying finally a BCom CA in Vivekananda College. I'm very motivated in this webinar. Thanks a lot for clearing all my doubts. And I would like to thank our student self-development center, Dr. K. Challapandin sir, and all my staffs for preparing this meeting. And I would like to thank Ms. Shweta for clearing my doubts on preparing the resume, and Mr. Krishnan Govindan sir, and KG Mohan sir, and all the panelists. So that's all for my feedback, sir.
Thanks a lot, Dinesh. Thanks for speaking up and keeping this webinar engaged. I think that's the best part of any webinar is when the audience and the panelists engage and try to get answers to questions which were there in the mind, and you are never sure, should I ever ask these questions? No questions, I keep saying, is right or wrong. The best journey in life is to remove ignorance. And as you start removing ignorance from the external world, someday you'll start removing ignorance, moving towards yourself internally, where the ultimate Atman rests. So I think being in Vivekananda College, talking about Swami was a great event itself. Krishnan and Shweta, just amazing work done by you. I think you kept the audience enthralled. You gave them the answers they wanted, and more importantly, one of the oldest languages in the world, Tamil, was used today extensively. The first linguist webinar we had, and Shweta, I will never forget the statement of yours in Tamil. It said, "Ungalku coffee venuma." I think filter coffee is the best in the world, can beat any Starbucks any day.
I agree.
And that too on the streets of Madurai. You just walk into a stall, and coffee in the south is measured not by the liters, but by the length of how the person cools it in the cup. I want 3 feet of coffee. Yes, that's what it said. So thanks a lot, Chalapanyan sir. Anything from your side?
Yes. So for your thank you for your nice words of Swaida ma'am, particularly in the beginning. So we are going to give a coffee and a tea for the participants. So thank you for your kind information. I want to say one word. In the Vivekananda College tradition, there is no coffee tea at all here. We only provide the malt. Last 50 years onwards, our practice, there is no tea stall, there is no coffee shop at all in the campus. The faculty and students, friends are prohibited to use the coffee and the tea. Instead of coffee and the tea, we provide only malt. That's a nutrition practice we are going to be here. Okay, so thank you. Now here on behalf of the management of Vivekananda College, here senior most professor Dr. S. Pasupati, this program from the beginning to end, he enjoyed well. He take the notes also. Please, you have to see a senior professor here. He take the notes. He want to. I invite our. He is my guru. I studied from him. Now professor of the Vivekananda College under the able guidance of our guru. He is take notes. What a fantastic things is carried out with the 1.5 hours. Okay, so we are Vivekananda College today is the milestone to our life. We enjoyed well. We conducted the many program recording the career oriented program. We called one person maybe 1 hour, but here this is a panel program. So 4 panelists here from the outside. The Swamiji also seeing these presentations going on. They enjoyed well about this program. On behalf of our management, I call our senior professor to say few words and thank to you. Okay, please here.
Mr. Deva?
Yes.
Good afternoon to everybody. On behalf of our management, principal, first of all, I owe my thanks to all of you. Sweda ma'am, Krishnan sir, Mohan sir, Munish sir. We have enjoyed a lot. Really, we have gained a lot of motivated speech, encouraging speech by yourself. First of all, what are all the importance of soft skill that we have to drive or we have to inculcate with us? What are the qualities we have to develop? What are the criteria to be followed in an interview? In order to face a successful interview, what are the qualities? Stress இருக்கக்கூடாது. Straight away நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க. தெரியாதுன்னா தெரிஞ்சது சொல்லுங்க, சாரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுங்க. I will learn, I can learn. எல்லாருமே தெரிஞ்சுட்டு தான் உள்ள வரணும். இது பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். Where we are and where we have to go. அந்த லைனை நீங்க கரெக்டா ஸ்டிபுலேட் பண்ணி பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. எப்படிலாம் பண்ணணும். ஹைலைட்டிங் வாட் யூ கேன் எக்ஸல். எங்களால முடியும். கம்யூனிகேஷன் எனக்கு தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்ல வேண்டாம். ஐ கேன் லேர்ன், ஐ வில் லேர்ன், ஐ வில் இம்ப்ரூவ். அந்த மோட்டிவேட்டட் ஸ்பீச் தான் சார் பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு. ரியலி ஆன் பிகாஃப் அவர் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் அண்ட் பிரின்சிபல், ஐ wholeheartedly thank all the 4 members on our behalf, on our department and as well as the management. Really, it is a motivated speech, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. உங்க ஆசீர்வாதம் எங்க பிள்ளைங்களுக்குலாம் வேணும் சார். வாழ்க வளமுடன். சந்தோஷம் சார். Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you. We enjoyed it.
Finally, I want to thank to the student friends. They enjoyed well. In the 5 halls they are sitting, they are enjoyed. They take notes also. They asked one more thing, sir. This week over, next week this kind of program you are going to be arranged. Okay, they asking. Okay, very. If you possible, the next week you may conduct like this program. Okay, sir.
Sir, can we have a photograph, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I send it to you, sir, ma'am.
Sir, no,
Yes,
right
take
now.
your photograph now. Sir, screen or in the room.
You have done enough
Take
good
care.
work. Thank you for the photographs. Now your photograph. 1, 2, 3, and smile.
Great.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Krishan. Thanks, Vita. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind. Jai
Thank you
Hind.
so
Jai
much.
Hind.
Thank you so much. We all enjoyed it. It was outstanding. In fact, very, very well participated. I think well coordinated by Jeevitam and Vivekananda College. It's a great platform for me, at least, to be here and then speaking to the students from the town where I started my career.
Where you started career, that's important.
So I'm very, very happy. Yes, Shweta, over to you.
No, I just want to say after what Dr. Chalapandian said, I have to also say, enak malt pidikum. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to interact with this wonderful audience. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.